This is question 2 in the 2020 paper. 2020 paper 2, question 2. We have a triangle with three sets of coordinates. And what we're asked to do is find the length of AB. You go to page 18 of your maths tables, which I'm sure you all own. And you do the following equation. Okay. And you need to label your x1, y1, and x2, y2. So because we're using points A and B, don't mind this language here. It just means we keep it in surd form in the calculator, okay? So this is going to be x1, y1, this is going to be x2, y2. And this means just find the length of AB, and that's your length formula right there. So you got minus 2 minus 4 squared plus y2, which is 2, minus 6 squared. Throw that all into the calculator. Minus 2 minus 4 squared plus 2 minus 6 squared. And your answer is 2 root 13. You can see exactly that's the way they want it. The A value is 2 and the B value is 13. Okay. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So they want the midpoint of AB. So once again, we're going to need 4, 6 and minus 2, 2. 4, 6 for A, and B is going to be minus 2, 2. You look up the midpoint formula on page 18 of your maths tables. You should be able to find this here for the midpoint. Okay, and that's x1, y1, x2, y2. And you're going to get 4. It's going to be 4 plus minus 2 all over 2. And the y1 is going to be 6 plus 2 over 2. Okay, you can use your calculator for this if you want. And you get 1. And this one here is 6 plus 2 over 2, which is 8 over 2, which is going to be 4. So that's your 0.14. Right, so that's handy out. So we already know the midpoint of this. Part C, or sorry, part B, part 2 is going to be in the triangle, the point E is 7, 3 is the midpoint of AC. So what do we say A and C are again? A is 4, 6. This is 10, 0. And the midpoint of D is, D is what we got there, which is 1, 4. Okay, and B is minus 2, 2. Now, they want us to prove that these two lines are parallel. Parallel means the slopes are the same. So we want to prove that these two lines here are parallel. So we're going to use the slope formula, which is on page 18 of your notes. I'm going to do y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And here's what we're going to do. X1, y1. So we're going to get 3 take away 4. And we're going to 7 take away 1. Minus 1 over 6 is the slope of DE. Okay, so slope DE is minus 6, 1 over 6. Now, BC. So slope BC. So that's x1, y1, that's x2, y2. So you're going to get 10 minus 2 all over, sorry, give me a sec, 10. B minus 2, 2. B is minus 2, 2, 2. So D to E D to E was 6 on the bottom, 1 on top. Now we're doing B to C. And B to C is 10 minus 2, which is 8. And on the bottom it's 10 minus 2, which is 12. Sorry, there it is, BC. So we're using B to C. So it's 0. B to C is 0, take away 2, which is minus 2. So it's minus 2 over 12, which is also the slope of minus 1 over 6. So slope of BC is also minus 1 over 6. So they're actually the same slope. So that works out perfectly there. In fact, parallel. Find the area of the triangle ABC. Now, when you're doing the area formula, there's a formula for this in your book, and it's called a half x1 y2 minus x2 y1. Now, you're only going to use 2 points, but there is a trick you need to do to use this question. To do these questions, you have to move one of the points to 0, 0. Okay, so whichever point you think is closest to 0, 0 is generally the best one to use. So in order to use this equation, in order to use this to calculate the area of a circle, you're going to have to put one of the points to 0, 0. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that now. You pick a point and you move it to 0, 0. So I'm going to pick the point B. So B is minus 2, 2. And we're going to move that to 0, 0. You do it by adding 2 to the x value and minus 2 to the y value. And what this does is it turns B into 0, 0. Okay? Now we pick point A. Point A is 4, 6, and you do exactly the same movement with it. You add 2 to the x value to get 6. You take away 2 to the y value to get 4. And then finally the C value, you add, so it's 10, 0. You add 2 to the x value to get 12, and then minus 2 to the y value to get minus 2. This always happens when you move one of the points to 0, 0. You end up with 2 points that aren't 0, 0. And these are the 2 points you use to find the size of your triangle. Okay, you just fill out your points here, like so. Now these 2 vertical lines, what these means is you're not allowed any negative answers. So example would be if you got an answer of minus 16, you'd have to take that as a plus 16. That's what also those 2 big numbers mean. So we're going to go for 6 multiplied by minus 2. And then we're also going to have a 12 multiplied by 4. Okay, so that's going to be minus 12 minus 48. It's going to be minus 60. And half of minus 60, now this 60 can't be negative, so it's going to be plus 60. A half of 60 is 30. Now, if you want to enter it all in the calculator, you press a half. Now, this ABS button called abs should be somewhere here. That means absolute value, the 2 big lines, and you could enter it in as 6 multiplied by minus 2, and then take away 12 multiplied by 4. Okay, and then you press equals, and you get 30 as well. Okay, so that is 2020 question 2. Now, 2020 question 3. We're going to find the margin of error of surveying 1,000 people. So it's 1 over the square root of n, which is 1 over the square root of 1,000, which is 1 divided by square root of 1,000, and you get 0.0316. Now, once the answer as a percentage, so 0.0316, yeah. Now, I'm going to multiply this by 100 to change it into a percentage, and you get 3.16%, but it wants it to 1 decimal place, so it'll be quite literally just 3.2%. Okay. Now, what we're going to do next is use this 3.2% and use it in part two. We're going to make the 95% confidence interval. Okay, so out of the 1,000 people we asked, 762 out of 1,000 people said it was safe to give their credit cards. All right. Now, this means that 76.2% of people from this survey believe that it's safe to do so. Now, please remember there's a margin of error of 3.2%. So that means that we have to add it on and take it away from this. So when you add it on and take it away, what you're going to get is take away 76.2, take away 3.2. It's going to give you 73%. And then when you add it on, it's going to give you 79.4%. Now, make say less than or equal to the mean. All right. Now, move on to the next question. An online media company claimed that 80% of people believe it's safe to give their credit cards online when shopping online. Conduct a hypothesis test, and so do a hypothesis test, and that's what we've been doing recently. So we're going to go for H0, which is the null hypothesis. So H0, or H0 is the null hypothesis, and we say is nothing has changed. So 80% of people are comfortable. So 80% of people believe it is safe to give their credit card details online. And then H1, which is the alternate hypothesis, basically is the percentage. Now you sort of copy and paste this. So you're going to say the percentage of people. So I'm reusing the language from the null hypothesis up here. So the percentage of people, and you press paste. Percentage of people who believe it is safe to get their credit cards on details line is not 80%. So the first one's claiming it is 80%, and the second one is claiming no, it's not 80%. Okay. Now, at the 5% level of significance to test the company's claim, give your conclusion in the context of the question and give a reason for your conclusion. Okay. Now, what we're going to say, so what we're going to do here is because 80% is not in the 95% confidence interval, because 80% is outside the range of the confidence interval, we reject the null hypothesis, and null hypothesis is N0 or H0. Spelled hypothesis wrong. So we reject the null hypothesis. So in conclusion, and then you can just copy and paste this because we're accepting the alternate hypothesis. So bracket the percentage of people So the percentage of people who believe it's safe to give credit card details online is not 80%. So that's question 2 and 3 on the 2020 paper.